Solana Saga. What's going on with the Solana Saga, Kai?
A wild story. So as we all know, we've touched on a bunch that the Solana Saga phone, the mobile phone, sold out over the last few weeks because a bunch of people were trying to farm airdrops and the phone was a great way to do it. And it actually made your phone free. So a bunch of people bought the 20,000 that were available. Then a week or two went by where you couldn't buy anymore and we weren't sure what was next. And all of a sudden they hinted on the 16th of January or the 15th of January that something was coming. So we said, okay, probably more phones. Well, that's the case. Solana Saga 2 is happening, and they are launching 100,000 more phones. Interesting about this is, so it's 100K, but they also have a point system that goes with it. So the phone itself, by the way, is $450, so super cheap compared to most other phones. And what's interesting is you can sign up. When you order it, you can also then get a referral link, and if you share it around, you get additional points. And then there's other things you can do to get more points. Same with like when you're getting points from, I don't know, putting capital inside of like a DeFi protocol, you can get points right now, like Camino points that we've talked about in MarginFi. So same idea, but with an actual hardware like device, like a phone. So that was quite funny. And then just, I think a couple things. There's been some confusion around this. People are like, oh, it's just a cash grab. Like they don't really need to do this. So why are they doing that? Like why sell 100,000 more? And I think there's just a couple things I want to clear up. One, they're not making any money off this. It costs $450 to make the phone. So they're like probably just break even, if that, because then you got to pay for the marketing and the team and so many other things. So like this is not a cash grab. They're not making much money here. Now, if they continue to do this, they do 100,000 here and they do 100,000, next month and so on and so forth, their manufacturing costs will go down and down as you scale. It gets cheaper. So like then eventually they might be able to make more money. But right now they're not making anything. So why are they doing this? Well, I've listened to Anatoly, the founder of Solana, talk about this a few times. And look, he knows that they are probably not going to take on Google and Apple, right? These guys sell hundreds of millions of phones a year. They're not going to do that. They sold 20,000. If they do this, they're 120,000. Whoopee. And they know they can't take them on. However, what they can do is, one, get a little bit of pressure going. I mean, if this works, they get another 100,000. They have a very committed community, people who really want this. They're already having pretty good sales from this. So like, if they can get some traction here, it's maybe the one shot that we have of someone competing with these massive, massive mega companies on phones. So like, it's worth it, right? They are the thing that's holding back most of what we're trying to do with Web3, with Apple's 30% charges, the rules that they have around like swapping and NFTs and games and all the things. If we can put some pressure on them, that's massive for our industry. So first of all, let's do that. Second, we need this industry to move mobile. And it's hard right now. And so this at least allows innovation to push forward on a small subset, albeit, but at least we can start to like work around innovating in the mobile world, and we can do it in a native crypto blockchain way, which is really cool. So I think that is really great. And then also the way they framed it was like, look, if you have a NFT project of 10,000 people, you can build something from that. And if you have, think of Pudgy Penguins and, some of the others around there that have actually built real things with these communities. That's what they said is like, hey, the first Saga that went out, 20,000, we've got a community of 20,000 people. We can build a business around that. And who knows what that is? Maybe it's not even about the phone. It's something else. But at least they can innovate. They can practice. They can maybe get some competition with the big ones, like all from this. But if anything, it's a way to tie the community together and see what they can do in terms of progress with hardware, with, wallets inside of phones. Like they can start to actually do things. And I think that's really exciting. So look, I'm not buying the phone just because, I don't know, I don't really need two phones. But if this sells out at 100K, then I'm turning them on. I think it's a great idea. Why not keep pushing forward? If the community's down to support it, then go for it. I think it's a good idea. It's not a cash grab, though. So many people on Twitter were doing that, and it's just a bit ridiculous.
No, I think this is an innovation grab. You shout out to them for taking opportunity of the fact, like from a marketing standpoint, very well done, right? You have a narrative. You just sold out. You celebrated. You got a lot of hype around that. Now is the moment to do another launch. And thankfully, you can do a pre-sale launch. So you didn't have to have 100,000 phones ready to go, which they obviously do not, right?
Right.
So do a pre-sale launch and then throw in some points. Great job, right? Like, well done. I think that you nailed it, though. The big thing here is we should all be celebrating hardware innovation because we desperately need mobile hardware innovation on chain. I'm thinking about buying it, Kai. I'm not going to lie.
Same. I would. It's difficult when traveling. But here's what I would say is like there's a lot of chains right now that have maybe 100,000 people on it, not even, and they're thriving and they've got a network and they're building out new apps and they're You know what I mean? This ecosystem of 100,000, that's not small. That's bigger than a lot of cities in the world, right? And you can create thriving cities from something small like that. In a digital world where it's even cheaper to create, you could build something real from 100,000 or 120,000 people. And think of the network effects you have now when that 120,000 not just is using your system, meaning they're holding on to Sol and then also using some of the apps and they know the branding, but now they also have the phone, the hardware device. Like that becomes very strong network effects, which then can compound into something more. And I think they see that. I think it's extremely smart what they're doing.